What's up everybody, I'm some DC fanboy and today we're going to flip through The Flash, Volume 1, Move Forward. We all know Barry Allen's a nerd, so it's no surprise he's going to take his crush, Patty Spivot, on a nerdy date. Just as Barry's talking to esteemed scientist Dr. Darwin Elias, the tech symposium is crashed by Mob Rule. They're trying to make off with the doctor's genome recoder, and of course Barry springs into action and bests the robbers to recover the stolen goods. Which the hero never does this early in the story. Usually it ends with like his butt getting kicked and then him having to learn from his mistakes or something like that, but I digress. One of the baddies is found dead at the crime scene and resembles one of Barry's closest friends, Manny. This starts a bunch of flashbacks trying to explain Barry and Manny's relationship, and how Manny is always trying to teach Barry to take more chances, and how Manny went into the military, and blah 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 blah. Barry's hard at work trying to figure out exactly what is going on when he's jumped by Manny, the real one. Yes, get ready for a story about clones. Barry and Manny start running from all the other Manny clones, known as Mob Rule, and eventually, it's time for the Flash to knock everyone out before you can find your car keys. Mob Rule has Iris West captured and are threatening to kill her if the Flash doesn't let them take Manny and leave. After the Flash saves Iris, he meets with Dr. Elias, who teaches him how to use the Speed Force not only for his body, but his mind as well. Now he's going to be able to think as fast as he runs, which is pretty much going to let him see into the future. After Barry completes enough good deeds to complete all community service requirements in Central City, he gets running back to superhero business. I'm sorry about the pun, I honestly, it just happened. We start learning more about Manny's past and his clones, and how they're dying off in order of which they're created. They need Manny if they plan on surviving. As the Flash is investigating Manny's past, a city-wide blackout hits, and the Flash starts saving everything. I mean, just crack the book, you'll find out. Dr. Elias tries to find out what caused the blackout, but on his endeavor he runs into Mob Rule, who kidnap him hoping that they can save him. Captain Fry assigns Barry and Patty a part of the city to help keep order in the aftermath of the blackout, and because the story needed it, they find a building where Manny is being held captive, and he has his hands cut off. Trust me, that's relevant, we'll get to that. Mob Rule doesn't exactly agree with this rescue mission, and they appear to kill Barry. No worries, like, he vibrated through the bullet, like, duh, he's the Flash, that's what he does. It's just his new powers made him, like, overthink the situation, and he, like, choked. The other half of Mob Rule is bringing back Dr. Elias and explaining the rest of Manny's past that we don't know yet. Alright, I'm going to try and sum this up as fast as possible. Manny was one of the best covert US operatives, and he gained regeneration powers from a government program, but then he got captured once upon a trip, and then they started torturing him by cutting off all his limbs, but then his limbs, they all grew back into full versions of Manny, but now all the clones are now dying off in order which are created, and they don't like that because they want to live. We all want to live, including clones. Clones are people too. Dr. Elias starts his plan on fixing the genetic flaw in Mob Rule that's killing them. Flash arrives and is greeted with a bunch of sticks and no guns, like it's England or something. The experiment seems to be killing Manny and heading for disaster, but the Flash creates a vortex to contain the blast and save Manny, but he's not too happy about Mob Rule dying, so he just storms off. But then we cut to Manny, and he's by himself, seemingly talking to himself, until we see a unison speech bubble come off the side of the panel saying Mob Rule because foreshadowing. But before the story ends, Dr. Elias shows the Flash evidence that he's destroying the fabric of time and space and has to destroy the Speed Force because cliffhanger. And that's the main story that's in Volume 1. I am going to make a Part 2 covering the rest of it. That's a bunch of build-up for the next volume, but you should have a pretty good idea if this is a story that you want to pick up on your own or if you want to crack the book again and read it for a second time. I'm some DC fanboy, and this is my cool catchphrase ending.